And I am returned for episode 44, I think. I hope. If I'm off count, jeez, that could be bad. Well, I really haven't passed hardly any time since the last episode, because today I just have to, kind of pump them out to be ready for the entire week. It's going to take all afternoon to render them, and I need to be busy working while I do that. I made a little bit of progress here. I decided those are going to be an inner set of decks, but I still don't have anywhere near enough wool to finish the second floor. Plus, I was running low on this wood. Birch! Thank you. Whoever told me that. Psychologically. Psychically told me that. Thank you very much. Okay, so... crap. Beyond that. Let's see. Ooh, I got some more. See, look, I have two green wools. I am so wealthy in the green of wool. But actually, there's 2 slots over here, so that would work out pretty well. Now, I was thinking about trying to extend the stairwell up, but it would have blocked this as a door. And this isn't a very good door over here. Plus, I was thinking of, well, if I put a green wool here and more wall, then I have a little nook here for that and a nook here for this room, which would be kind of cool. So I want that, but that means the stairwell ends here. And I'm not sure if I want this to only be 3 stories. Maybe I do. Hey, caffeine. Okay, so... all right, then. I'm going to continue working on that. Actually. I've got some taco salad brewing in the oven right now for lunch. I even took pictures. Ooh. I can do more walls. Oh, punk. Okay, well, I can do this much anyways. And over here. Oof. But I call it half-baked taco salad because I bake a portion of it before I bake the salad part, and well, whatever, who cares, things. So this was okay. Yes. All right, so I'm going to keep poking away at this, and I will get back with you when I have a little bit more to show. All right, and I'm back briefly. I've taken a side trip, and it took quite a while, actually, because even in the nether, it's a long ways away. Because I'm sick of harvesting green wool off of just a couple of units. So I'm back at my origin plot, and you can see here, I have started the second series of terraces. I'm only doing it on one side now, so I can get a rough idea of what I want it to be like. But see, it comes down, wraps down. So I assume it will wrap down again and continue on. But I just, I need wool. Wool, damn it. Good enough. So I come here. I need wool. I actually have tons of it here. So much green wool here. I forgot how I get in. It's been a while. It's been too long since I've been here. Oh, okay, fine. Stay away from the gate, please. Ooh, bright green. Someday I'll have to clear these guys out of here. This isn't really a location for them. It's just that's the way it worked out for a while. See, this is a really good for harvesting green. Oh, jeez. Wow, lag. Ooh, I can hardly... oh, come on. Really? Now, you can see... oh, crap. That's not what I want. Hey, how'd you get out, Buster? Okay. That's my original use of green wool up there. Is there anything else I need while I'm here? And I have so many resources here. With dirt roads and stuff, this would be useful. Don't need any of that. This stuff would be useful over there. No, oh, crap, that fills me up, which is not what I wanted. Ooh. Here, let's make a wool place on this side of the... On this side. All right. Oh, all these as well. I feel like something's missing. Is something missing? Hope not. That would stink. I want to keep some of these around here. What else? Ooh. I won't be using those around here. Bear with me. See what I mean? Look at this. And this. Ooh, and I'll bring some of these as well. Okay, so that should be enough green for a little while. I think. Diamond sword. Sharpness. Affinity. Still don't know what I'm going to use that for ever. And here? Nothing. Okay. Right. I will head back. Okay, so I was headed home, but then I saw this and was reminded I wanted to explore this. Look at watch. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I think that's as far as it goes. Yeah, 1, 2. This is nuts. This is something Oplek, my brother, made. And it's... Look at this. And there's a chicken. Man, he started in college as an electrical engineer, so I guess this isn't completely unreasonable. But still. I mean, you're talking about... It's simple, but it's a computer in-game. He also made this, and I still... not entirely sure. I think Caffeine was the one who put the deal with it sunglasses on there, and he hasn't removed it. It's either that or he did it. Now, I'm not going to get into this in any detail, because I don't have the education as yet. It's something I could pursue if I felt really interested in it, but I don't have the education as yet to understand the computational mechanics behind all this. But I have enough at least to appreciate that this is no small thing. And as a result to appreciate how friggin' phenomenal computer computation is these days. That it's... I mean, this is what somebody might have accomplished in the 50s with a computer, you know? And you gotta, when you're learning this stuff, you gotta start at the beginning. But still, this is just... You know, and now today... 16 core machines doing quadrillions of things a second. And not literally, but look at this. Oh man. I gotta start doing redstone. Seriously, the complexity of mechanics within my construction so far has been the occasional secret door. But mostly actually just switches. And that's it. So yeah, I'm actually going to continue back as I originally promised. Ooh, what's that over there? I don't recognize that. And get back with you in a little bit. Let's continue with that second floor. So what I was saying was, boink, boink, and here we have a nook, and here we have a nook. Well, that's not so bad, huh? All right, let's do that over here. Boink, boink. Stupid mouse. Let's see. All right. I'm not entirely sure what to do with this spot. And it makes sense that it would be another balcony. And it connects to these. So perhaps there's no ceiling up here. Perhaps there is. Leave me alone. I don't want to have to think about it right now. Very good, me. I did that so well. Celebrate. Okay. All right, so... Oh, yeah, wait. I got rid of the greens before finishing this. This is open. Let us take a moment to do what we need to do here. Oops. Shoot. I should have a rant ready, damn it, but I don't. I know how much you guys love rants. Actually, I was thinking earlier, if we're serious about this rant thing, that a couple years ago, I was in this big bunker mood, basically dissatisfied with humanity, upset about the direction the world's taken, and I'm like, just give me a bunker somewhere really picturesque and let me ride it out, because, you know, I don't even think anything's worth saving at this point. I don't know. It's a bad rant, but I hadn't felt like that for a while, but now I'm sort of back in there again with so much that's going on. Like, you probably have heard about shenanigans from the Supreme Court. Just recently, actually, in 2 consecutive days, they made 2 consecutively bizarre... Well, I don't want to say bizarre, because one of them seems like a good ruling at face value. And that was the gay marriage, or the bans against gay marriage being unconstitutional. That was the second of their decisions of late. And it sounds like a good idea. Because, you know, personal freedoms and all that, very good thing. What concerns me is that the day before, they struck down... Sorry, my brain. You know, 2 things at once, all that junk. They struck down a key provision in the Voting Rights Act that required that states that have a history of racism and trying to prevent minorities from voting, they're no longer on the list. So technically the rule exists, but all of the offenders have been struck from the list, as best I understand anyway, so forgive me if I'm misrepresenting slightly. But that, and let me think about this. Now, see, that's a really kind of a horrible thing, because it was just recently Texas tried to do something that was a violation of this law. I mean, it was 2006, so in the grand scheme of things, that's quite recent. The last time this was voted on, it was in the Senate, I think, at least, voted on unanimously. 98 out of 98 votes were for it. Bush signed it, and he made a, typical, Bushian speech. Is that a word? Bushian. It's sort of like, for me, it's kind of like fingernails on the on chalkboard. Oh, did I run out? I did. Okay. Don't die. Thank you. I don't have more. Punk me. All right, let's. But it was a unanimous thing, and so of course, if it's unanimous, it must be bad because I don't know. Things like the Supreme Court. Crap, my trains of thought have just diverged in 5 different directions at once, and I apologize. But I'm gonna have to cut down more trees. Sadly, there are no pine trees anywhere around me. I just wish they produced more wood. That would be nice. Because it's kind of expensive when you're using these. I mean, I had quite a store up, and I just blew right through them. Anyways, the Constitution is a set of guidelines. Let me just say that. It serves the people. The people do not serve the Constitution. And if the people's needs are no longer being served by it, then it is an outdated document and needs to be updated. So the Supreme Court, which, I don't know, a century ago or roughly thereabouts, took upon itself, maybe it was longer, I'd have to look it up, took upon itself the power to judge things as or as not constitutional. That was not in their original purview at all, actually. they took it, and no one granted them that power, and no one has dared take it away. So they've kind of made themselves an unchecked power. And that is a bit of a problem, especially when you end up with what we call an activist court, as we have now, where they're using their ability to judge things to fiddle with the laws, or fiddle with the landscape itself. And sorry, I'm trying to think and do this at the same time, because there are a lot of connections here that may not be easy to follow, and I'm doing two things at once. Whoops. Oh no, that was fine. Sorry, I'm not patient enough to wait for all this to happen. So there's that. And if you, well, anyways, the two decisions are contradictory in the extreme. First, let's strike down the Voting Rights Act, or at least all the all the force behind it. And what you'll find out if you actually read the news is that all of the states that were on the list as being historically racist and trying to prevent minorities, and in particular, African Americans, from voting, every single one of them had been trying, especially in leading up to Obama's next campaign, were trying to suppress the vote, especially of minority and poor areas. The people who need government assistance the most don't even get a say in it. And so, and immediately, actually, when I say all, I could be wrong, but there was a long list immediately after this decision this week of states just a matter of hours, they went straight to the things that had been proven racist enough to be disallowed by the Department of Justice. And they pushed it through. It's already on the docket in many of these places, which tells you these states should still be on that list. They have immediately proved that they were on a list for the very good reason. Okay, so this and the gay marriage issue are highly controversial. People disagree about these things almost to the point, and in some cases, not even almost, actually to the point of violence. They disagree. Now, the left wing tends to be a lot less violent than the right in this country. Their protests, they usually put themselves in harm's way rather than others, unlike the right wing protesters. But still, they're going to be at each other's throats now on two separate simultaneous issues that are probably some of the most controversial issues at the moment. There are others, but these are pretty big ones. And so if you think about it, this is gonna get people fighting with each other at a time when people are already afraid because of a terrible economy. And the economy is terrible because the economy has been given away to the ultra-rich. It is now exists solely for their benefit. And everybody else is slowly becoming indentured labor through debt and, the lack of education, because they're taking away education slowly and making it inaccessible to anyone who's not rich. This long series of things that push people closer and closer to the economic edge. That makes them fearful, and people get stupid when they're afraid, and they get tribal when they're afraid. They seek out people who seem like them or agree with them on a topic that they're most afraid of, even if on 9 out of 10 other topics they might not even agree. They will band together into a tribe for mutual protection. And it's almost animal to a degree, though it's perfectly understandable, and I don't want to take away anybody's ability to feel safe, because that's what people need right now. But we're already in a time where violence is increasing, disagreement is increasing, fear is increasing. The impetus is economy. But if you throw on top of that the fact that people now have all this extra stuff to argue about, viciously argue about, then what I'm getting at is that this feels deliberate. Like, the Supreme Court, the right-wing majority of the Supreme Court, took it upon itself on an issue that they don't like, which is the voting rights stuff, to be an activist court and strike it down so that their friends on the Republican side of the aisle can get easier to steal elections in areas that are in desperate need of a little bit of democracy. Oh, here we go. This is something I forgot to do. Then, at the same time, they had the opportunity to, and that's controversial enough, and then at the same time, all they had to do was swing one vote in favor of the gay marriage thing, and that would also happen, which is a whole other argument. And while I would say I don't give a crap who wants to marry whomever else they want, that's fine with them. I don't, as long as I don't have to do it myself, that's perfectly fine. It hurts nobody. But I feel like it's being used instead of actually as an improvement in the social fabric of this country. I feel like it is being used as a wedge issue to drive people apart at a time when people are already driven apart. And this is what I think is this is a, and I don't have much to substantiate it except history, where this sort of thing has happened before. I think this is a divide and conquer tactic, so that the super elite rich people who have already basically stolen the world from us, the people who live in it, if they can get us attacking each other, they can get away with more corruption in the background. And this has happened before. I don't want to get Godwin's law on anybody, but Hermann Göring, if I'm pronouncing that right, after World War II, he survived for a while anyways, at the Nuremberg trials basically said, it is a simple thing, and I'm paraphrasing. I'll get it slightly close, but it is a simple enough thing to get any nation, any kind of people, to do what you want. Especially, at the time it was war, but it could be in any number of things, though war will be included. If right now, if you tell people, well, terrorism is largely, it's not Ooh, did that strike right there? I hope I can't get killed by that. I bet I can. Leave me alone. See, I'm sorry. I'm super tangential. I'm trying. Seriously. This really turned into a rant, didn't it? God damn it. Excuse me. Did it work? Oh, it did. Okay, sorry. There's something else going on in the other screen. I was compiling a time-lapse video, which I think will look pretty good. But anyways, Göring said, it is a simple thing to get any nation, regardless of whether it's right or left, democratic, fascist, communist, socialist, doesn't matter, atheist, religious, completely irrelevant. If you tell people they're under attack, and that their way of life is threatened, and then if you at the same time denounce the peacemakers as traitorous, which, if you listen, in America, that's happening right now. It has been for a while now, pretty much since Bush got into office, but maybe sooner than that, if you go back to Reagan, perhaps. If not earlier. My grasp of history goes back about to Reagan, so it's probably even more relevant than I think it is. But anyways, it's a simple thing to get people to bow to your will. And, this is the sort of thing like Benjamin Franklin, so actually as an example of it going back even further, he's basically, Franklin said, whomever sacrifices a little freedom for a little security loses both, or deserves neither and loses both. And that is also happening in the United States right now, and probably has on multiple occasions in the past, which is why he was talking about it. And we've done that. That Patriot Act, all this spying, I'm not against data retention, but spying is a little bit, it's a related but distinct topic on that. You're giving it away. People keep telling you, oh, this is the name of freedom. And it's in the exact opposite. The more free they tell you are, the less free you actually are. And the more they use that catchphrase, for freedom, or I love this country because of freedom. It's a catchphrase, and the more often it's used, the less it means. And it scares me that people, they're wearing flags as like garments, and they have freedom painted on their face, and it is exactly what I was talking about before. It is tribalism. People have been frightened into banding together into tribes, and as a result, with the herd mentality, they see every other group as an unknown. And people are naturally afraid of unknowns, so of course it's a magnifying effect. And more often than not, because they'll disagree on things, they begin quickly to perceive them as enemies. And the fact of the matter is, in this world, 99.9 out of 100 people are not your enemy. They have all the same general concerns in life that you do. They just want to have a life, be safe, eat healthy food, have access to water, enjoy themselves, occasionally, have vacations and relations and all that kind of stuff. They may believe a couple of different things than you. They may, or me. I'm not trying to single out anybody who's listening to me at the moment, because I don't know who you are, frankly. But man, I'm not making a lot of progress, and now I need a way up there. They're not the enemy. Some random person living in a Middle Eastern country is not your enemy. I realize a few of them have blown themselves up, but if you actually backtrack them, they are, again, frightened people who believe slightly different things, who are being taken advantage of by fearmongers, the people who peddle fear. In this case, you could probably say Bin Laden peddled fear in order to buy an army of people who otherwise would have had relatively happy, normal lives and would never have thought to blow themselves up or anyone else. But their fear was exploited, and their fear was manufactured pretty much exactly as fear is manufactured here. And I just, to cycle this back to where I began, I'm afraid, or suspect, maybe is a better word, because here I am talking about fear, and then I say I'm afraid. I suspect that the mutually, bizarrely exclusive decisions this week by the Supreme Court are in effect an attempt to sow fear and dissent and division among the people. The correct decisions would have been let gay people marry, leave them alone, they'll leave you alone, and keep the Voting Rights Act in place until every state in the Union has proven that they've grown out of the habit of trying to suppress minorities. Then I wouldn't have anything to suspect, because neither of those, one of them would have been controversial, and yet I suppose actually both of them would have been, because unfortunately there's still an undercurrent in this nation of racism. So, wow, that was a rant. I hope it wasn't completely incohesive. And if anybody listening has any opinions on it that disagree with me, say so, but say so constructively. I know all too often I get sucked into arguments on the internets, which I know is the worst thing you could possibly do, wherein people just resort to trolls. They can't, they're not arguing the topic, they go into ad hominem. They attack you on a personal level as if they think that is a way to win an argument, rather than, hey, let's base this on facts. I can just upset you enough to make you give up the argument, or make you look bad so no one else believes you, or things like that. Now, if you disagree with me, tell me why. On any this rant, that rant, any rant. Just explain your position, and I will listen to it. As long as you're being constructive and respectful, you can disagree with me 150,000%, and I'll still listen. As long as you, then in turn listen to me. That, that mutual respect thing really helps, makes people want to stay listening to you. So, that's it. So hey, political episode, woo! But no, I'm concerned for the health of this nation and the world and humanity et al. I'm not sure we're going to survive this, so I naturally want to say something and say, hey, can we do better than this, please? So it reminds me I really should start a different channel for my rants, so you don't have to listen to it while Facebooking. Minecrafting! So you know what? I have no idea how long this rant went, so I'm gonna cut it off here, let it save, do a little bit more construction. Maybe I'll come back just long enough to say, oops, okay, I ran out of time. And hey, you know what? Instead of talking about it, okay, folks, as promised, this will be... Oh, I forgot a spot. No, I didn't. Oh, I see. See, I'm already distracted. As promised, I will close up the episode. Hope you didn't mind the rant too much. Bye. Sheep. So, just to recap, that section... It's been a while since I've done such a long single section before. It's been a while. So... It took a long time to save, which meant I had to keep myself busy. So I did all this. I filled out the second floor, and I decided the way up to the top would be through the corners. And I also yanked out the corners and put in cobble. I put a balcony around the entirety of the entire place with some support beams. It looks a little ugly, but not too bad. So yeah, now it's a further hodgepodge of things. So let's go down. Ooh. I'll have to decide what to use these rooms for soon. And so here's and on this side is like a lookout tower of some sort. I'm not sure why it would face towards the town, but I guess it does. And there you have it. Let's go up. Should have showed you this at the beginning instead of at the end. Oh, there we go. These corners are going to need some work. I'm not sure what to do with them. But I put some stuff, and you can tell how long I've been at this because it's still growing. I had 4 green patches, and they've already spread out this far. But, it's good view. Good view. I'm thinking there'll be more. Doink, doink, doink. Doink, doink, doink. And up we go. So I'll probably have another floor up here, maybe a top. And well, that's it. So likely by the time I do any further recording, this will all be done. What I might do also is, since I'm so far away from the village and I hardly ever see them use this or that, I might bring in another 2 villagers. Oh, I thought I was seeing a squid. I might bring in another 2 villagers here. And because at this point, with all the doors here, this might end up maybe be considering its own village. With enough to support 4 or 5. Maybe? I don't know. But there you have it. And there's the town, and there's the miner's town over there, and the moon. And look how much, this island had I think 0 trees when I started. And Caffeine and I have built a believable forest around this town. Just through the act of needing more wood. We always get more saplings, and it grows, and there you have it. So, okay, thank you for watching. Please subscribe. Please tell your friends about me. And please have a good week. Damn it. Or else. Goodbye.